with Alexa Bliss hinting at a change in character and WWE lying to Fox about draft plans. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report for September 29th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Following Big E's win of the WWE title, fans on Raw chanted for his good friend, the late Brodie Lee. Speaking to Renee Paquette, Big E mentioned how special this was. People chanting his name, I had the moments where I looked at Woods, and just I'm getting chills thinking about it, and I had chills then. It was one of those lines where I didn't need anyone to react, because sometimes you throw out a line and it's kind of for you and for people at home, and I didn't know people would get it. But man, it was so heartwarming and almost overwhelming to hear those chants, and to know that people knew who I was talking about and that his memory is still alive. I also love It's a Small Thing, but I never called him Luke. Maybe in promos, but it was always Brodie. You're not talking about this pro wrestling who died. When you're chanting Brodie, that's my friend, that's my brother. I appreciated that so much. It meant a lot. I just wanted to continue to keep his memory alive, that we continue to remember him. What helps when I'm sad or down about him, he was just so funny. I have so many memories and pictures and videos. There's a lot to smile about with him and his beautiful and incredible family. Amanda and those two crazy boys are still here and still thriving. For me, I know Brodie was one of the first people to come up to Kofi and congratulate him when he won the title. I know he would have done the same for me. There are these footprints all throughout my life, when Brodie's big feet are just markers of him. Speaking of Brodie Lee, AEW Dynamite tonight will be dedicated to his memory, as Tony Khan promised matches that will pay homage to the late superstar. In that same interview, Big E noted that he wasn't told about his WWE title win until he arrived at Raw. I didn't know I was going to Raw till that Saturday. We did the show in New York and I was driving from New York to DC, and then I just got a call that my travel and everything was adjusted, so I was like, okay, I'm going to Raw. But it wasn't until Monday afternoon, pretty much right before I sent that tweet, that I was like, alright, all systems are go and this is what we're doing. So pretty much from then on, it feels like my life changed because everything has been so much more hectic. I had a bunch of people reach out and do interviews that Monday. It's like, alright, we have to do these interviews Monday afternoon. I was like, nothing's been done yet. I just sent out a tweet, but things were already in motion. You know how it is in our industry. You don't really know until it happens. So I always kept waiting for some sort of swerve or a segment to run too long, or something to happen where I'd have to backpedal or maybe even lose the briefcase. I don't want this to sound arrogant, but a part of me did. But a larger part of me thought, there's no way this is going to happen, because people would lose their minds. People would be upset. That's not good heat. That's not compelling. Oh, let me watch this. That's like, alright, you've let me down once more heat. With the draft starting on SmackDown and ending on Raw, it is very likely that Big E will be officially moved to the red brand. Matt Riddle has been seen as a controversial superstar outside of the ring, with him previously making comments about being able to beat up top WWE stars in a real fight and so on. On Out of Character, the original Bro spoke about Vince McMahon telling him that he'd overstepped boundaries. I am extremely confident, but I've also put the work in to be as confident as I am in what I say. I do think Vince respects it. I think he likes me a lot, but I do think that I've overstepped my boundaries a couple times and he has definitely told me that I have. At the same time, I kind of look at it like this. I really don't mean to rub people the wrong way, but at the same time, we're in the world of professional wrestling and I talk trash. That's what I do, that's part of my job. I feel like that if I talk really good trash, people may get upset, but I just feel like I'm really good at my job. Me and Goldberg don't see eye to eye on some things. Me and other superstars, not going to mention any names, really don't see eye to eye on some things. But to me, that's the beauty of sports entertainment. These differences, these qualms that we have is what's great about what we do. And the fact that we might actually have to work together one day and people know this, it makes what we do even bigger, more real and better if you ask me, and I think the fans agree as well. With Randy Orton absent once again, we'll have to wait and see what is next for RK Bro when the Viper makes his return. Despite being injured during the Zombie Lumberjack match against Damian Priest, The Miz continued to appear on programming in a wheelchair. He is off television now, but told off the Vine how he was able to come up with a way to stay on Raw. My first major injury was about 12 weeks ago when I tore my MCL. I didn't have surgery. It was partially torn, but I had to sit out. It was the first time I had to actually take time off, but I didn't. The doctor was like, you can still be on the program, you can't do much. You can have crutches or a wheelchair. I was like, I will take a wheelchair, and Morrison, my tag team partner, will roll me around in it. I don't want to have to do anything. Honestly, it created for great content. The way I work with WWE is whenever an obstacle happens where something is challenging like tearing an MCL, which was not planned and I didn't know it was going to happen, I have to make the best of it because I love to work and I love what I do. I said, okay, I want to be there every week and make something entertaining and captivating for the audience. I got in a wheelchair and everyone thought I was faking the injury because I stood up one day out of nowhere and everyone was like, oh, he was faking it the whole time. No, it was real. I just made you believe it. With him on Dancing with the Stars, Miz will likely miss the upcoming WWE draft, but he still may be placed on a new brand during the proceedings. Given his shocking release from WWE, many expect to see Bray Wyatt appear in AEW once his non-compete clause expires. On his 83 Weeks podcast, Eric Bischoff said that AEW should delay Wyatt's debut till next year, due to the amount of big names they have recently added to their ranks. Let's just assume Bray Wyatt is going to end up in AEW. I wouldn't do that till after the 1st of January. I'd save that for the first quarter of next year because they've had so many signings, and they're great ones too. I'm not being critical or dismissing them in any form. You got Sting, Christian Cage, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Ruby Soho, etc. These are super talented assets. They've brought in so many great assets over such a short period of time, they tend to dilute each other, and it's not as meaningful as it could be, in my opinion, if they were spaced out a little more. That's why if I was bringing in Bray Wyatt, if I was Tony Khan, I'd lay off the surprises and the chatter about who's coming in and not coming in and more for the audience. It's like a roller coaster, and we've been on this incredible, exciting roller coaster ride, and the only way you're going to enjoy the next big exhilaration point on that roller coaster is to get a little bit of rest. Take it down, slow it down, so that when you speed it up again and take the audience to that peak of that moment and deliver your next surprise, just give them a rest so they've got more energy to get ready for that ride. It's not fatigue, don't get me wrong, but we're getting close to surprise fatigue. Wyatt was released from WWE on July 31st, and if the assumption of him having a 90-day non-compete clause is correct, he should be able to sign with another promotion by the end of October. As mentioned, WWE is preparing for their next draft, which will kick off this week on SmackDown. On Wrestling Observer Live, it was noted that Fox was told about some talent they would get on SmackDown from the previous draft, but Vince McMahon had a change of heart and did not follow through on that promise. Before the Fox debut, before they were getting ready to do the draft, they actually aired Fox commercials with certain superstars. I believe Charlotte might have been one of them. I forget the others, but the point is that Fox was sure they were getting certain talents, because they were told by WWE that they were getting them. Then Vince changed the plan and they did the draft and then they didn't give it to them. So don't think that just because they told Fox and USA this is who you're going to get in the draft and they can't change it. Think again. Kurt Angle was previously noted that he had been in talks with the UFC right after he signed a deal with TNA, as he was not able to start a mixed martial arts career due to him still being a pro wrestler, something the UFC was not supportive of. On his podcast, Angle revealed he would have fought Brock Lesnar in the promotion had the money been right. I would not want to fight Brock out of respect for him and the friendship we had, but if the money were right, I know he would want to fight me and I know I would want to fight him too. It is all about money. Sometimes it kind of sucks. You can't take that personally because you're trying to provide money to take care of them. That comes first before friendship. So I'm sure Brock and I, if they would have gave us the right figure, we probably would have went at it. Kurt Angle also previously stated that he would have fought in the light heavyweight division had he signed with the promotion. Given Lesnar is a former heavyweight champion for the UFC, Angle probably would have made the move to Lesnar's weight class to make the fight happen. After suffering a broken nose once again, Sheamus took to Twitter to let fans know that he would be having another procedure, with him writing once more onto the breach, "Dear friends, two-time WWE nose job champion." He would go on to post another photo, presumably after the procedure, to give a thumbs up and let everyone know it went well. Following her loss to Raw Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss had her doll destroyed by the champion, as Bliss could be seen screaming and crying after the fact. This may cause a change in character, as Bliss seemed to hint at that when she posted a quote from Einstein on Twitter: "Energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only be changed from one form to another." With her said to be taking time off from TV, PW Insider has now noted that Alexa Bliss was written off TV as of the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, as she is scheduled for an upcoming sinus surgery. With Dynamite tonight set to honor the memory of Brodie Lee, Bray Wyatt has been rumored to be appearing on the show, with Ringside News having this to say about it. Tonight's AEW Dynamite will be a Brodie Lee tribute show. Rumors on Bray Wyatt's debut are also getting fans' hopes up. We spoke to AEW sources, and they have not heard anything about Wyndham's debut for the company tonight. Unless something changes last minute, he won't be there. Don't shoot the messenger, but don't expect Bray Wyatt's AEW debut tonight. Wyndham is still under his 90-day non-compete clause, but that doesn't mean he will never become all elite. Patience is a virtue. New York regulations were at play for AEW last week, where CM Punk was apparently barred from diving into the crowd. As he wrote on Twitter, the New York State Athletic Commission does not allow stage dives. Given Dynamite this week will also be in New York, don't expect to see any stage diving from Punk. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.